Good morning, good afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another pre-game Montreal Canadiens game number 35. I'm going to give you all the information you need to know for the game tonight. They are back on the ice after 14 days off because of the COVID-19 situation and the fact they cannot play at home. So be ready. They are back, and I can't wait to tell you what's going on with the Montreal Canadiens. So don't go nowhere. Yes, Coach FRENCHY from the Hockey Nation Live Show is back in the mood for the pre-game Montreal Canadiens game number 35. But before we start, we invite you, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the likes if you enjoyed this video and tell us what you think. Or maybe some prediction of the game between the Bleu Blanc Rouge versus the Bruins. Let's dive in and talk about the Montreal Canadiens game number 35 pre-game show. And I'm going to give you some new things. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about the next couple of minutes. First of all, I'm going to start with a number. First of all, the Boston Bruins are maybe play the best hockey at that moment since the beginning of the season. They won the last two games. They are 7-3-0 in the last 10 games, and they are 19-11-2 since the beginning of the season, and they are number 4 in the standing of the Atlantic Division. They really separate themselves versus the Detroit Red Wings at that moment. At home, they are 9-6-1, but on the road, they are doing very well at 10-5-1. For the Montreal Canadiens, that's the reverse at the bottom of the Atlantic Division. Lost the last two games, and they are 1-7-2 only the last 10 games, 7-23-4. Unfortunately, and they are 5-10-1 at home, and on the road, the worst record in NHL with only 2 W and 18 game. The power play, Montreal are the worst with 11%. Comparatively at the Boston, they are number 9 in NHL. On the penalty kill, Montreal are 30 at 71.6. The Boston doing well, also 9 at 82.4. Goals for Montreal, they are the team scored the less goal during the game with an average of 2.12 versus the Boston Bruins at 3.06-15 in NHL. The goal again, Montreal 3.62 versus Boston Bruins at 2.59. Finally, the shot for the Boston are second in NHL with over 35 shots per game. Comparatively at the Montreal Canadiens with 29.4. Finally, the face-off again, the Boston Bruins dominate with a 4th in NHL at 54.5. It's easy when you have Patrice Bergeron. Honestly, Montreal is 27. The leader for both teams, Montreal, Zuski still dominate with 19 points. Anderson and Zuski now have 7 goals. Ben Chariot dominate with a TOI at 23-30. Finally, Allen is still at 5W. For the Boston Bruins, all about the number 63. Brad Marchand with 36 points with 16 goals. Another great season for the great players. And finally, McAvoy has 24-15. And it's not Bobrovsky. We apologize for that, about that mistake. But it's Swimmen with 8W dominate for the Boston Bruins for the best goaltender with the most W. Now, let's down being about the shopping up, what you need to know for tonight. Honestly, you know almost what's going on. Number 1, and the goaltender we expect is Allen versus Ullmark. It's not confirmed at that moment. I'm doing this recording. Just pay a little bit more attention during the day, what you need to know. The last 5 game Montreal is still at 1-3-1 differential of at minus 10. 11 goals for versus 21 goal again. The power play guy is 0-16. The last 5 games, the PK is 5-21. Allen, their stat, it does not change since he got injured. And the last 5 games, Sabres have the most points with 3. Drouin, most goal with 2. Niku with the most assists with 3. Finally, Edelin is at plus 3. Honestly, for the Montreal, we have to have a chance to win tonight. They have to stop the big gun of the Boston Bruins, talking about Pastrnak and Bergeron and, of course, Marchand. The special team need to score on power play. Montreal is 0-19 and the last 19 attempts. So this cannot winning game if your power play does not work. And the player you have to watch for the Boston Bruins, honestly, is Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, and Taylor Hall, and, of course, McAvoy. They are the most dominant players at that moment for that team. The next one I want to talk about, guys, is the last 10 game Montreal 172 with only 18 goals. So that's gave less of 2 goals per game, and they gave 38, 3.80. That's gave a minus differential of 20. What I can say more. 2 and 28 in power play, guys. That's minus. That's less of 10%, and then 8 and 37. So the Montreal statistically are one of the worst in NHL, unfortunately. The next thing I want to talk about is, of course, is the Frenchy corner. I want to talk about the game number 35. Many return in the lineup. So before the Montreal postponed a couple of games and they are stopped to play hockey because of COVID-19. We have a couple of veterans are back in the lineup. I'm talking about, example, Dave O'Rack, talking about Armia, Lekonen, Petrie, all back in the lineup. And Dauphin, yeah, a couple more. So Montreal's getting a little bit more healthier about the roster. Finally, Anderson Toffoli skating with the team, not ready to play, but still a little bit good news around the Montreal Canadiens. Team will be rusty tonight. Did not play for the last 14 days. So you expect a team maybe not have a better best tonight on the best shape at the beginning of the period of the game, because they did not play for the last 14 days. So it would be interesting how they're going to react. Find the motivation from the team. So what I want to explain to you about motivation is about goals. We know they are out of the playoff and they know it's over. But as a management, as a coach, as a staff, you have to bring happiness, a joy, at least to have a pleasure to play hockey. And to do that, you create some goals, small goals for different aspect of the game. Example, let's starting to go maybe a power play goal or a short-handed goal, a PK success, and then maybe score 3 goals per game or different aspect to make that team to reach those kind of goals. They have some motivation to play for. And that's what the coach Duchamp need to find them to motivate those players to go that level. Maybe players for the young players, how we can increasing their time and how we can make them become a little bit more successful. And all those stuff like this, I believe that will helping them until the end of the year. Otherwise, if you don't do that, they will be discouraged. They have no motivation. They have no intensity. So you have to increasing those kind of the motivation for keep the team at their best, honestly. And then some players individually have to play for their contract. Some become UFA. Some you have RFA. And some they want to increase their stock market to maybe have a trade. So at some point, everybody as the players have to play at their best, and as a team, they need to find some kind of motivation. That would be my point to bring to the team, the Montreal Canadiens, if I was working with them. Young, get experience. Don Michel have to continue to find a way for the future. Who could be the best center for Cole Caulfield, example? Who can be the best winger, play with Nick Suzuki in the future? And those kind of find the equation for the system for the Montreal in the next couple of years. That's you need to work on this. Example like Romanoff. Is it better to play with Sabres? Is it better to play with Petrie? Those kind of experience the Duchamp need to find for the Montreal Canadiens. I think that would be really important for the young kids to learn, not only learning or get more experience, but also find a way which player are the most have a better chemistry, to be honest with you. Some in the windows, what you talk about. But you know what? Right now, we don't know yet who is going to become a GM. I'm going to tell you Friday who is going to become the GM Montreal Canadiens. So expect a new video from me. Now, the second thing I will say to you, some players going to be maybe on the market to get trade. I don't know yet which one. We know at some point maybe Gallagher, Price, Allen, Petrie, Chariot, Lekonen. Some of them could be trade. My point to you is Montreal maybe want to put some player in front of the windows from the store to good look for other team. Yeah, but maybe some scout around the NHL right now for other team are really watching the Montreal Canadiens, some different players. So I believe right now everybody play for some to increasing their star market, and Montreal need maybe to show them to the other team what they look like. So it'll be interesting to follow this for the next couple of weeks until the end of the trade deadline. The special team struggled, guys. 0-19. They did not score for the last 19 attempts on power play, and I believe they are 1-24. So they have to find a way to get more goal. We know Hoffman is back. That's another help. The power play a little bit better with a better veterans players. We know Gallagher is out for tonight, but still, I think they have to get that kind of the productivity for give them a chance to win. I think another motivation I would say to them, all right, we want to be sure we play every game at our best. All right, we don't want to get killed like 7-0, 6-1. We cannot give up. We have to continue to be consistency and working hard. Finally, I want to finish with the Boston Bruins. They are playing right now the best moment of the year, I believe, for the last 10 games. They are 7-3-0, and they are really jumping in the standing of the Atlantic Division. They are a little bit too far for the 1, 2, and 3, but they separate themselves with the Red Wings. And the fact is, they split the line, Pastrnak with Bergeron and Marchand. Marchand played Bergeron, they put Greg Smith. And now Taylor Hall play with Pastrnak. Since that, Pastrnak scored 4 goals the last 2 games. Is really hot at that moment, and that gave them a better way for Bruce Cassidy to balance his lineup at that moment. Russ returned with the Boston Bruins, signed a contract of 1 year for the rest of the season. I don't expect him to be with the Boston Bruins in the net tonight, but expect him to be around the team for the next couple game. And then finally, they bring back in the American Hockey League the goaltender Swimmen. Let's move on to the next thing I want to talk about this, guys. Let's jump in about, first of all, the head-to-head team before I want to talk about specific thing. This is the stat. I want you to compare the record, the stat between our different categories. I'm not going to go one by one here. I want you to take a moment, stop the video, and watch this graphic. It can compare the season between the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. It's the same situation for the defense and goaltending comparison. You can see the Boston dominate on each aspect of the game. Let's move on to the next one here. This is the offense shooting. Again, Boston all over the Montreal Canadiens. Finally, this is the defense, the play driving, and the Boston Bruins on percentage. They are one of the best in NHL with a goal, 4x, everything like that. But I want to talk to you about something where the company is called the Atlantic with Dominic start a new card of the graphic about different players in NHL. I want to explain this to you because I have a possibility to exchange this with you. If you are interested to learn and to get those kind of cards, let me know, reach me, and I will send it to you. And I will go to share with you. So great initiative of the Atlantic website, and you can see the record of each player. Right now, I'll just give you an example from Nick Zizki, but that gives you an idea, the expectation of the player projected for the season. I think that's pretty nice to see that, and that gives you an idea what is he at that moment for Nick Zizki. But if you're interested, again, let me know, and I will definitely sharing with you. If you want to see how they did that, but this is an example of how Dominic did this. So I'll give you all an explanation of age categories with the ranking, everything like that. So hopefully you're going to like it. If you want, again, to get a specific players, a team, let me know. I will sharing with you. Finally, this is the lineup for tonight's game for the Montreal Canadiens. You can see again. I'm going to disappear here, honestly, but you can stop the video and look for the lineup for the Montreal Canadiens tonight. That give you an idea also the power play and the PK for Montreal. Finally, this is the Boston Bruins. You can see now Smith play with Bergeron and Ola, Taylor Hall. Ola is between. Charlie Coy is on the third line with Frederic and Steen. Finally, this is a power play and the PK for the Boston Bruins. And don't forget, the Montreal Canadiens play a back-to-back game this week. Tonight in Boston and tomorrow are going to be in Chicago, again, the Blackhawks. So like this, we are back. And Hockey Nation Live Show with the pregame Montreal Canadiens. Don't forget, we're going to do the live stream, play-by-play, with the hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy, tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. I can't wait to see you. And finally, of course, remember, you have greatness inside of you. Thanks again for watching another video with the hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy. And finally, I wish you an amazing, blessing day. Of course, be well, be healthy, and find a way to dominate, not only your day, but find a way to dominate your year 2022. Mes amis, ceci complète une autre vidéo avec l'entraîneur Coach Frenchy pour le Hockey Nation Live Show. Je vous souhaite une très, très belle journée. On se revoit plus tard avec l'entraîneur Coach Frenchy. Bonne journée, mes amis.